So late last night, something kind of crazy happened. Microsoft officially closed their deal, and now they own Activision Blizzard King. They bought them for roughly $1 gazillion. The whole thing's insane, which is why I'm making this video. I want to get you guys caught up and share all of the information that I've seen with you guys, and kind of break down exactly how it's going to be affecting all of the different games under Activision Blizzard King, but more specifically, how is it going to affect Call of Duty, because I know that's what a lot of you guys want to know. So let's get into it. So yeah, this was one of the first tweets that I saw last night, and basically this deal was boiling down to whether or not the UK CMA would officially approve it, and last night they did. Microsoft and Activision were just waiting for the UK CMA to officially approve their restructured deal, and since they did that, now they could actually close on it. This is Phil Spencer's message about the whole thing. He says, whether you play on Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, PC, or mobile, you are welcome here and will remain welcome, even if Xbox isn't where you play your favorite franchise, because when everyone plays, we all win. Don't worry, we will discuss this in more detail after I'm done kind of catching you guys up on everything else. Now, this next tweet from Charlie is kind of the big one. This is what the Xbox acquisition means for the future of Call of Duty. It says here that it will still release the same day on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. It will actually be returning to Nintendo, so we'll have Call of Duty back on Nintendo. Says that it will expand to cloud gaming services, it will release on Xbox Game Pass, and no more exclusive content for any platform. Now, obviously, there's more news I want to share with you guys, but we do need to break this one down a little bit more, because this is talking about how the acquisition is going to affect Call of Duty, and I'm sure you guys know that I've got some, thoughts and opinions on that. So as far as it goes for Call of Duty releasing on the same day on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, I think they will hold true to that. We've had PlayStation exclusivity for almost a decade now, and the games still fully release on the same day, no matter what the platform is. But PlayStation actually kind of has skirted past that by doing some other things, like having PlayStation exclusive betas to play the game early and test out certain features and different things like that for PlayStation first, and none of the other platforms get that. We've actually just recently seen that with last weekend's PlayStation exclusive beta for Modern Warfare 3. So even though the game will fully release on all platforms at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point in the future, once they're able to do so, Xbox will then get exclusive betas or even exclusive alphas, and they'll give Xbox players that ability to get on the game first, because that is something that drives sales. I've seen other people go out and buy consoles that they didn't have, specifically to be able to play, and especially if you're a content creator, record and or stream these betas early. Of course, people are going to want to do that. Now, from my perspective, is it worth buying a brand new console that you don't own just for the sake of playing a Call of Duty beta early? I do not think so. Typically, it's buggy, it has server issues, and it's not perfect. And even if there is a lot of hype and you don't want to feel like you're missing out on being able to play that beta early, I think it's only really worth it if you're someone who is a full-time creator, whether that's being a YouTuber or a Twitch streamer. I don't think it's really worth it unless you plan on making a lot of content on it that early on. So even though I do believe that the games will still release on the same day for all platforms, and that they actually can stick to their word on that, I'm not too sure about the betas, and there could be some other features that they decide to release earlier on Xbox. A prime example of something that's starting to be done is early access to playing the Call of Duty campaigns. Technically, Call of Duty betas are a section of the game that's being distributed early to those platforms. It's the multiplayer being given early to one specific platform. They could do the same thing with zombies, they could do the same thing with the campaign. They're just saying that it's not going to be the full game on release day. So yeah, moving on, they say that Call of Duty will return to Nintendo. It seems like this is a big push, and there's a pretty good chance that they could be trying to get brand new Call of Duty games back on the Nintendo Switch. I don't know how well the Switch is going to run it, to be perfectly honest. It could be a complete train wreck, a disaster, but there also have been a lot of leaks about, like the Switch 2 or the Switch Pro. Maybe an upgraded Nintendo console could run the newer Call of Duty games, but they're definitely going to have to allocate some more resources and potentially get another dev studio or another team in to port Call of Duty, like the new ones, onto the Switch, because there is no way in hell that these new Call of Duty games are going to run properly on the Switch. And even if they do, they need like a serious infrastructure upgrade to the online services, because people are going to be lagging, having latency variation and packet loss, all kinds of issues if they're trying to seriously play Call of Duty on the Switch. Now, I think it will be hilarious. I think it will be great for content, but I don't think it will necessarily be a great gaming experience unless they take the proper steps to make sure that it actually is good. Next up, they're saying that they'll expand to cloud gaming services. I'm not exactly sure what this is supposed to mean. I mean, maybe they're talking about like buying Call of Duty and then doing like some game streaming, kind of like what we saw with Google Stadia, which I think is dead now. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't really get the cloud gaming services stuff, but, you know, that's something that they're going to have to work on. They're going to have to prove that that is a model that can work for Call of Duty. Because, again, cloud gaming services, it might work better for other games, different franchises, but this tweet is specifically talking about the future of Call of Duty. So the fact that they're mentioning Call of Duty and cloud gaming services hand in hand, I don't really know what to make of that. Next up, they say that it will release on Xbox Game Pass. Now, I don't know if I'll be able to dig up the tweet that I saw. I believe they were saying at that time that they basically can't get Modern Warfare 3, the newest Call of Duty game, on Game Pass quite yet. But I think what they're looking to do, which is also what we speculated on, is that they're going to be slowly bringing back older Call of Duty games and putting them on Game Pass. We kind of had a feeling that this was going to be the case, that they weren't going to just like drop every single game at once, because it would be overwhelming. They need to do it slowly, kind of like one at a time. It's also kind of like what they did with backwards compatibility when they started making those old Xbox 360 versions of Call of Duty backwards compatible on the Xbox One. I think the main reason they kind of did that slowly is so that way people could gradually come back to the Call of Duty games instead of just having it all happen at once. I know that would, you know, mostly be ideal for us as players, because then you can kind of pick and choose whatever game you want to go back and play. But also the problem with that is that if they drop it all at once, the player base will just be completely fragmented and spread across all of these games. Whereas if they do one game at a time, they can kind of focus it. They can see how it's performing and how it's doing. Maybe potentially they could do it in sections. So we could do like a Modern Warfare drop, a Black Ops drop, EXO Call of Duty drop, and also like World War II Call of Duty games kind of being put on Game Pass all at once. That would be a quicker way to kind of roll out the games, but I don't know exactly what they want to do. It kind of seems like they're going to take it slow and maybe try to release them at certain times that they think is the best opportunity instead of just, you know, releasing it however they want. Now, the last one is a massive stretch, in my opinion, them saying that there will no longer be exclusive content for any platform for Call of Duty going forward. That would also imply that Microsoft and Xbox don't plan to have any Xbox exclusive Call of Duty content. I don't know if I believe that. I know I can't fathom it, and I know you guys probably cannot fathom how much money they just spent to acquire Activision Blizzard King. There's no way that they're going to just not have any exclusive content. I mean, it would be crazy to see them go ahead and not do that, but I just have a hard time believing that they're going to buy Call of Duty, one of the most popular gaming franchises and one of the highest earning gaming franchises ever, and not use that to try to bolster Xbox. I don't know. Now, what I will say though is that Call of Duty on its own is generating billions of dollars from its sales, and especially the microtransaction sales, every single year. So maybe that is their play. Maybe it's a long play where they're just like, okay, Call of Duty is generating billions of dollars. We will recoup this over a certain amount of time. We don't necessarily need to utilize the franchise to just, you know, get people to buy Xboxes and then force the exclusivity. Maybe they're trying to do the right thing and move away from console exclusivity, but I don't know if I believe it. I really don't. Only time will tell, man. Activision Blizzard King joins Xbox. There's an official trailer for it. I don't really want to watch that. Why is there a trailer for this? I mean, that's just, that's kind of weird. Xbox says the work begins today to bring Activision Blizzard games to Xbox Game Pass. I mean, yeah, that will be pretty interesting to see. This is actually really good news if you're someone who's a bigger fan of classic Call of Duty games and you want to see those older games thrive. This is actually some very big news. Yeah, just to put it into perspective, Treyarch, Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, Raven, Beanox, and all of the other supporting dev teams, they're now all just a part of the Xbox game studio. Absolutely crazy, man. Here's some more breaking news as well. It says Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick says Phil Spencer asked him to stay on as CEO till the end of 2023. Bobby Kotick will leave Activision Blizzard in January 2024 after Xbox's Phil Spencer asked him to stay on through the end of the year, and Bobby Kotick will receive over $400 million as part of the deal closing. Wow, only $400 million? How will he live? I can't imagine possibly retiring with $400 million! I've already been losing my voice from playing the Modern Warfare 3 beta. That definitely didn't help. But my god, dude, that is just ridiculous. Yeah, so this puts things into perspective as well. Microsoft now officially owns two of the biggest FPS franchises of all time. They own Call of Duty and Halo. Now, what I'm really interested to see is if this could lead to any kind of crossovers between Call of Duty and Halo. We don't know if they're going to try to keep them separate or if they're actually going to try to bring those two games together. I think that they should probably try to to some degree at least, remain separate and be their own games. That way they're not being too samey or too similar to each other, because they need to have their own unique and separate identities, but still be appealing and still have something to offer. If Halo becomes too much like Call of Duty because they now own Call of Duty and they know exactly what works for Call of Duty and what succeeds, I don't think Halo fans will necessarily be too happy about that. And as far as it goes for Call of Duty ripping ideas off of Halo, I mean, they kind of have been doing that over time, you know? Like, they obviously, both franchises, they get inspiration and ideas, and they'll steal stuff from each other. We see it all the time. It even happens with Fortnite most commonly. I mean, Fortnite steals a bunch of shit, and then the other games, they steal back from Fortnite, so it's like, yeah, it's all basically just going in a circle, man. But Microsoft owns both of the franchises now, so it'll be interesting to see how this will impact both of these games now that they own both of them. Okay, this isn't related to the deal, but they just added Search and Destroy and the new Ground War map to the Modern Warfare 3 beta, so I'm definitely going to be getting on that today. I kind of posted this late last night, but I wanted to show you guys my best clips on high rise in the Modern Warfare 3 beta. It's just so ridiculous, man. Here we go. You got the prime spot for quad?
I'm so sorry. Oh, what the
Oh my god! Oh my god! I got my first triple on high rise. It was almost a quad. The fourth guy just like ran away, and then this. Oh my god! Like 180 no scope. But then I kept going.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Oh my god! That was the best clip I've ever hit in my life. I was freaking out, dude, and I was still trying to go.
No, you don't understand.
Oh my god, go. I also had this clip. It was basically like a split quad headshot feed. It was the first clip that I hit on high rise. This longbow sniper is so much fun to use. I can't wait to actually, you know, get you guys some more Modern Warfare 3 beta stuff. But yeah, that's basically all of the news that we have so far about the Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard King. There is one more thing I can mention, although it doesn't really pertain to Call of Duty, but I did see some stuff recently about them talking about remastering and bringing back Guitar Hero. I loved Guitar Hero 3 and, you know, some of the older Guitar Heroes as well. I think that would be so awesome to see them bring that back, and I'm really curious to see if Microsoft will actually support that vision and if it's something that they really want to do as well. But as far as it goes for this whole acquisition and how it's going to affect Call of Duty, I don't really know exactly how to feel about it. It's obviously going to have some kind of benefit to Xbox players and people who own Xboxes. We just don't know exactly how fully realized that's going to be quite yet. At a bare minimum, they will be bringing older Call of Duty games to Game Pass, so obviously that will be a massive benefit to existing Xbox Game Pass holders, and it will be very enticing for people to want to get the Game Pass if they're, you know, obviously big fans of Call of Duty, and they don't own all of the older games. But aside from that, only time will tell. We don't know exactly how this is going to impact the future Call of Duty games, like whether or not it's going to be a good or bad thing, and we don't really know exactly how it's going to affect console exclusivity. The most that we know is that PlayStation will be losing console exclusivity, but we don't know if Xbox is going to gain it quite yet, because they're saying that they don't want to move in that direction, but they absolutely could if they wanted to. Unless, of course, they agreed to not have any kind of console exclusivity when they got this deal approved. But either way, I wanted to make this little video to get you guys caught up, so that way you know exactly what's going on with the future of Call of Duty. So with that being said, thank you guys very much for watching. I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did it and you're looking forward to the future of Call of Duty, make sure to drop a like. See you guys later.
Outcome. Train goes.